What is up, everyone? It's Hazed from Freedom Gaming here, coming at you with another Azurite C video. This one's going to be a little bit different. I wanted to take one of the starter decks and go through the deck list and update it with some budget options that I thought could be a good idea for someone, maybe this being their entry level into Lorcana. So what I did is grabbed the red yellow pirate deck, uh, and really just upgraded it to make it a little more consistent and more playable at locals. I mean, not that a starter deck wouldn't be playable right out of the box, but I just thought we can make it a little more, a little more fun and reactive, which I think is better for the gameplay experience for someone new to the game. So I'm just going to go through, this is the actual deck list itself, and we're going to go through what cards I kind of didn't think worked as well in this that I took out, and what I added. I'll go through my list after. So right off the bat, you'll see there's a lot of two quantity cards. So like twos, and ones. There's a lot of ones as well. So that's going to be super inconsistent, especially with a deck that's not drawing a whole lot of cards. It's going to be hard to see those ones and twos. So, and the ones I don't think are for the most part good enough. You see, there's a lot of pirates you'll see, which is the theme, right? Like you want pirates in the deck because it's the theme of the deck. There's payoffs for certain pirates within the deck, but I think we could still get that payoff for having pirates without the overflow of. I think there's 25 pirates that are in this deck as it is. So something like a Pooh, for example, like this is one of the cards that comes in the starter deck. Whenever he quests, you can pay one less for the next pirate character you play this turn. Him being uninkable, I think, makes it a little difficult, and also having the restriction of it having to be a pirate character that you play. I did end up cutting him. I ended up cutting Wendy as well because one, she's a little expensive, so $3.50, and I'm trying to keep this deck maybe like a $10 ad. So if we added three more Wendy's, like you're already at over $10, right? So I just wanted to make it as cheap as possible for someone to upgrade this deck and make it a little more competitive. I also wanted to make sure they were able to use a lot of the cards that they purchased within the starter deck. I didn't want to just take the best red yellow deck we can do as cheap as possible. I wanted to for you to be able to use the cards you purchased, but say, hey, I'm really liking this game. Let me upgrade it and give you an option for that. So another card we ended up cutting was Tigger for a lot of the same reasons. He's a $3 card, and you're only playing. You only have seven actions in the deck as it comes, and we actually cut less. We cut a few of these actions as well, so there's even less from what we changed. So Tigger was another cut. We kept both Moana, and we actually added Jim Hawkins. We added two more of those to the deck because I do think he is worth the $5 price tag. So without further ado, we'll go into my deck because again, some of the things I noticed off the bat was, hey, we need some card draw. Let's make it a little more consistent. Let's give us a little bit more card draw so that we have a little bit more gameplay, a little bit more interaction. So what we did is we upped the Moana to 4 instead of 2. We kept Rabbit because we're going to want to remove some of the damage that we have on characters because you'll see as we get further into the list, we have some that are going to come in with damage right off the bat. Fix It Felix with the locations drawing is still very good, so we kept him in the deck. We have Piglet because Piglet is a captain, so you can go turn 1 Moana and turn 2 with Piglet, and now Moana can even challenge if she needed to. But I mean, most of the time you won't be questing with her anyways, but that's just an option. And Piglet's also a very, very good card, and he also has that pirate subclass that we mentioned. Um, we kept Kakamora in. We added 2 Mother Gothels. So Mother Gothel enters play with 3 damage. Again, we talked about hitting that card draw option, so we've added the Julieta package as well. You would typically want to play a Rapunzel in this situation with Gothel and a Rapunzel is like the red yellow bread and butter, if you will, for Mufasa decks. But Rapunzel by itself is $40, so that would have just thrown our budget out the window. So Julieta is going to be a little bit more of a budget option for us, where when you play Julieta, you can remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. If you remove damage this way, you may draw a card. So this is going to give us a little bit of card draw. It's really just card replacement, but still, it making Gothel a 3/3 is very good, and there's going to be times that your characters are going to have damage on them if they challenge or something like that as well. We added Doc 4 of because what Pooh said about being able to lower the cost of 1 for a pirate, Doc does it for everyone. So there is no restriction there. I know he's 1 more ink. He quests for 2, and he's inkable. So I think this is just a better option, an easy change. for the deck. So we did add 4 of the dock. We added 4 Moana from last set. This Moana is a very well statted card. It's a 3 cost uninkable, 3/4, and quest for 2. Just a good card. I know it's uninkable, but we're not playing a whole lot of uninkables. We're only on 10, so this wasn't a problem for us to add in, and it is a very cheap card. For $1, you're getting a playset. And again, still leaning on that card draw thing. You're going to see that theme here of, man, this guy is always talking about his card draw. I just don't want you guys to run out of cards while you're playing this deck. So something else we added was Pongo. I'm a big fan of Pongo. I loved him in the earlier starter decks. I want to say it was set 2, could have been set 3 that Pongo first came out. Oh, it says it right there. Set 3 when Pongo came out in this starter deck. I used to play him in Mufasa. He's a great card. I do think you want to look at him as more of a 5 cost card instead of a 3 cost card, so that when you do play him, you can immediately activate his effect, paying 2 ink to reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a character card, you put it into your hand, or otherwise you put it on the bottom. So Pongo's going to help us with our card draw. We have another damage character in Beast here, because we have some healing, and we have some other damage effects that I'll show on the bottom here. Vanellope Von Sweets, again, to help with card draw. At the start of your turn, if the characters add a location, draw a card, and gain a lore. So we have a couple of locations we'll get into towards the bottom of the list here. Kakamura was in the starter deck. We kept him in. This was another value add that we put in the deck to have more pirates. It's also inkable, and Captain Hook says that during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, ready this character. So you can hit multiple characters at once. And we are playing 3 Jim Hawkins. So we added 2, as I mentioned before, and we kept the Moana the same. So we kept the songs the same. I think I Won't Give In is still a good option. You can grab stuff back like Fix It Felix if you have a location out to draw a card. Grab back Piglet to help close the door and the game. I think this is still a pretty solid card. We also kept the Islands I Pulled from the Sea. I think 1 is fine. We could probably cut this if you wanted to add another uninkable or another inkable slot somewhere, but I still think it's a fine card. I would like to play a playset of these if I was playing more locations, but we're going to keep it as it is. And then we added Jolly Roger as a location. So we have 3 different locations, 3 of each of them. Jolly Roger gives characters rush while here, and it gives your pirate characters, they can move for free. So you have those options of the pirate characters to be able to move in and attack right away. Something like a Hook can do some really big damage with that because he's able to attack multiple things if he banishes. So he's like a mini Scar, if you will, from older sets. So this is a really good option. Same thing with Jim Hawkins and Moana. They all can swing once they come in if you put them in the Jolly Roger. We're also playing a couple more copies of Radigan's Party. Because we're playing those damage characters, this adds a little bit of pressure to the opponent by having those damage characters in here. Gives the location +2 lore at the start of the turn. So it's a good option. So this is where we ended. This is a little bit more of a consistent version of the deck, only at 10 inkables. Kept it 29-31 on the variance of card colors there, so that was pretty cool. I think you can get all this for less than $15 to be able to add all these cards. And I really think something like a Jim Hawkins that's showing $5 right now is going to severely drop once the set comes out. These are all still pre-order prices, so anything that's from set 6 is still going to be quite expensive. That's normal. That's going to change as the set releases in big box and whatnot. So I'm just going to go through a couple of the things I would have added if I had a bigger budget. But I don't want to change the core of the deck, but just to go through a couple different options here. Tuk Tuk. So I was thinking about playing Tuk Tuk because he can move a character in for free, but I really wanted to play him with Sugar Rush Speedway. I had this one in, but again, it's a $9 card, so it's on the expensive side. But not only that, it costs 6 to typically move it in, so if we don't have a way to do it cheaply, it's very hard to get the value from this. We have the first half right where we could put a pirate character into Jolly Roger for free, and then having to pay 6 would be a lot. I mean, still doable, but not worth the $9 price tag when we're trying to make a budget deck right now. So if I wasn't under a budget, I think this would be a card I would definitely look at adding. Rapunzel, we mentioned, this is obviously card draw central. Like, that's what we need in this deck. So if we had a bigger budget, or if you have Rapunzel sitting around, that would be an easy add to this deck. And then the last one I actually going to do one more because I just thought of one as I was talking about this. Minnie Mouse, again, pre-order card. This is one of the set promos for your local scene. So when you go play in your locals, you can get these. This would be an easy add. I think it's a great card. You could probably lean a little more into locations if you wanted to, if you had these, but it being $15 put it right out of our price range that we weren't going to do. Um, the last card I will mention, because I didn't put it up here, is Jim Hawkins, the red one, right? So if I wanted to lean really into locations, unfortunately, he's not a pirate. That would have made this a very easy inclusion. But him still being $10 put us out of the price range. And then if you're going to play Jim, you might as well play RLS Legacy, which is also, I think, a little on the expense. Oh, it's only 62 cents. So we could actually put this one in. So if you wanted to lean, say you get those Minnie Mouse, like you're a week or two into the set, and Minnie Mouse becomes cheap, or you won them in your locals, and you're like, I wanna make this a little more location deck. This would be an easy location to add. It is rather cheap, so that's definitely an option as well. And then you probably want those 5-drop Jim Hawkins, like we mentioned. So that's pretty much all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a little bit different than what we typically would do. A lot more casual leaning, I would say. Someone that's just getting into the game, I wanted to give them some kind of guidance, from my opinion, on what I would do to upgrade that deck. If you're getting that red yellow starter deck and you have some ideas that you want to do with it, make sure you send a response, or send a comment in the comment section below, and we'll talk about it. I'd love to help you out. Anything we can do to make your experience more fun for Lorcana. Don't forget about our giveaway that's happening at 150 subscribers. So if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so that you're a part of that giveaway. We are doing a Mirabelle store set championship promo. Other than that, that's all I got. Hazed out. See you all later.